A goal without a plan is just a wish. You've probably heard that so many different times in your professional career, but Napoleon Hill understood this deeply. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't fail because of a lack of drive. They fail because of a lack of direction. No follower of this philosophy can reasonably expect to accumulate a fortune without experiencing temporary defeat. Remember, these are the 20% of your calendar that are going to create 80% of the results. Plan your work and work your plan. Vision is powerful and desire is necessary, but if you don't anchor those with organized execution, they're going to say, they're really going to be just stuck in your journal. They're going to be stuck in your plans or in your head. Take your goals out of the clouds and put them in your calendar with specific daily and weekly activities that you know lead to those milestones that'll get you where you need to be. All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. Let me ask you something that might sting a little bit. Do you have a vision board full of goals, but no real plan to achieve them? Or maybe you're constantly busy and you still wonder why your income or influence or impact hasn't caught up. Well, the truth is, a goal without a plan is just a wish. You've probably heard that so many different times in your professional career, but Napoleon Hill understood this deeply. That's why the seventh principle of Think and Grow Rich is all about organized planning. Because without a roadmap, your desire, your imagination, all of that's not going to go anywhere. So let me just recap real quick for you here. We're in day 7 of a 14-day series on the 13 timeless principles in Think and Grow Rich. And these timeless principles are ones that I believe you can really use in your life, not just to level up, but maybe get unstuck or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Because over the years, with just tens of millions of copies, Think and Grow Rich has been one of the most timeless ways and roadmaps, basically, to create a successful life. So we started out with desire, and we talked about the importance of desire leading to faith, then the power of autosuggestion and specialized knowledge. Yesterday, we also talked about imagination. And so today I want to talk to you about getting down to the organized plan. This is from vision to execution. And so in Think and Grow Rich, Hill said, "You've learned that everything man creates or acquired begins in the form of desire. That desire is taken on the first lap of its journey through the abstract to the concrete and into the workshop of imagination, where plans for its transition are created and organized." I thought that's such a powerful statement, and I want to read it again because I want you to really think about this. You've learned so far in this series that everything man creates or acquires begins in the form of desire. That desire is taken on the first lap of its journey from the abstract to the concrete and then into the workshop of the imagination. But that's where plans for its transition are created and organized. So this is where so many entrepreneurs get stuck. They read the books, they feel the motivation, they imagine the dream, but they never translate that vision into a clear daily action. Now, I'll make a note here. Many of you may have a plan, but you didn't start from the right steps with desire and with figuring out exactly how you can use faith and autosuggestion and really specialize your knowledge. And maybe even your vision isn't big enough. But regardless, this is where organized planning is about to put your ideas into motion. It's where the goals get structure and your structure creates results. And if you're not planning with clarity, you're defaulting to chaos. And so it's so important that you learn to create a clear, organized plan. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about how to do that, right? You've got to take your insight and you've got to add relevance to it. Here's the hard truth. Most people don't fail because of a lack of drive. They fail because of a lack of direction. And they're launching things with no market feedback and no roadmap to follow. They're hiring without defining the outcomes that they need to do. And they're setting vague income goals with no marketing or sales plan to support them. Does that sound familiar? Or maybe you feel like you have a plan, but it's not an organized path to get you to the point you want to get to. It's just an organized set of priorities that you have. See, successful entrepreneurs like Grant Cardone, Alex Hormozy, all of these, they follow structured, repeatable planning cycles What they do is they review their KPIs. In other words, they find the things that drive not just behavior, but results in the organization. And then they create offers based on demand, not guesswork. And so a lot of times we're out there just testing things, but you've got to test things in a very organized way. And most importantly, they know that the next step that they're going to be taking is already predetermined every single day. And so this is the thing that I want you to really think about. What are you doing in a plan that is taking you down a path to get you the result you want to get and gives you the daily activity rather than the other way around? A lot of us get out, we start pulling up the day, we look at our calendar, we start doing busy work, we keep it full, and in the end, it doesn't lead us to the path that we want to be led to. And this goes back to this Pareto principle that we talked about in a podcast last week, where it's kind of that 80-20 principle. 80% of the results you're getting, or 80% of the activity you have is only getting you 20% of the results. And the reverse is true. 20% of what you do right now. This means only 20% of the activities that you actually do are creating 80% of the results. And yet you're just filling your day because we know that your day is going to fill to the schedule that you give it. And so here's a major key from Hill, and I want you to think about this. No follower of this philosophy can reasonably expect to accumulate a fortune without experiencing temporary defeat. In other words, planning isn't just about preparation. It's about adaptation, and it's about adaptation, right? It's about adaptation, but it's also about implementing your plan, because when your plans fail, you adjust. That's where you learn. So what you need to do is, there's a couple points that I want to make here for you. Number one, are you identifying the activities that represent the 20% giving you 80% of the results? And number two, are you taking action? Are you implementing your plan, or are you constantly in the state of planning? So let's break this down into an action plan you can put into effect this week. And this is just, it might be some simple procedures and simple things, but I want you to really do what you can to make sure that you're not missing any steps here. Number one, really clearly clarify your definite goal. Revisit the goal from episode 2. Make sure it's really specific. It's an outcome, it's a deadline, you have emotional clarity. And once you've really clarified that definite goal, I want you to then break it into strategic projects. What 3 to 5 major milestones would make this goal inevitable in the next 90 days? Would building a high converting sales funnel? Would landing 5 new clients? Would it be launching a new offer? What activities and what milestones, what little major milestones would help you to accomplish your goal in the next 90 days? And then turn those projects into weekly actions. So for each project, there might be 3 or 4 micro goals. These are things, and so we're working backwards here. I think you're starting to see what I'm talking about. 3 to 4 weekly micro goals that you can block time for in your calendar. Remember, these are the 20% of your calendar that are going to create 80% of the results. And then what you need to do is, planning isn't a one and done task. You've got to block 30 minutes each week to assess whether or not these milestones and goals are being hit. So it's very important that you do this. And I want to back up a minute and just give you some perspective on this. Number one, if you haven't really clarified your goal, you're doing what a lot of people are doing. You got a plan, you're going out into the future, but it's not definite. Or you have that goal and you don't have a clear plan. So this is designed to step back. That's why I'm doing this series, and really clearly define your goal, break it into some milestones you can get along the way, and then turn those into your daily and weekly activities that are the big rocks, that are the 20% that are in your calendar. And so use a tool if you need to. Use, whether it's an organized planner or a Franklin planner or something to help you to touch base and keep consistent with these little milestones and activities every single day on your way to your journey to your goal. And if your success feels scattered, it's time to bring structure to your ambition. Plan your work and work your plan. Vision is powerful and desire is necessary, but if you don't anchor those with organized execution, they're going to say, they're really going to be just stuck in your journal. They're going to be stuck in your plans or in your head. So this week, take your goals out of the clouds and put them in your calendar with specific daily and weekly activities that you know lead to those milestones that'll get you where you need to be. And this is the organized planning that we're talking about. And so really do what you can this week to do that. I want to also solicit a little bit of your background and your feedback. What is it you're working on? What is it I can do to help you? What can we do to help you go to the next level? hit me up on the Daily Mastermind. Let me know what you're feeling, and do me a favor and share this episode. If you'll share the episode, I can do a lot of different things to help you out, especially if you tag me in that. I can see that. So have an amazing day. Tomorrow, I'll look forward to talking with you more about decision, which will build momentum with certainty inside your plans. Have a great day.